Kelly, go the athletic coach. You guys were out rebounded and you gave a lot of points in the paint. Is there anything that you could take heading into game 2 to prevent that?
Yeah, I mean, we got to do a little bit better job. We had our chances to win. You're just not going to come in and just blow these guys away. So things have to go right, and a couple of lapses boxing out. But overall, I thought we played well enough to win and just didn't get it done.
Gareth Burke, NBC Sports Bay Area. Mike, if I'm reading your lips correctly as you walked off the court, let me just say you looked angry, sir.
You didn't want to do that.
You looked angry, sir.
You didn't want to do that.
Can you give us your perspective of the last 20 seconds of this game?
Well, last 20 seconds, I've already lost my mind before that, so I don't have a clue what happened the last 20 seconds. I don't know. I thought we played hard as we could play, and things just didn't go our way. And we did a good job last 20 seconds, just coming up with the steal, having a chance at a tie on a 3-point that James, could have got hit, could have not. Who knows? I mean, I know, but anyway, whatever. But we're right there. We had our chances to win. We missed a couple foul shots, had a couple technicals that cost us at the end because we're only down 3 or whatever. So, I have to do a better job, and we'll do better. But we had our chance, and Tuesday hopefully we'll have another chance.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. Mike, clearly you felt that James in particular and Chris on at least one occasion were getting fouled when they're closing out on 3. What was the response you were getting when you were discussing that with the refs?
Well, I'm going to really try to be a nice guy, because I really don't want to give the charity to them. I'd rather have my charity and have the money. So, the response was they just came at halftime and said they missed it. That's what they told me. So they missed 4 of them. That's 12 foul shots. So be it. They're trying to do the best they can do. And, obviously it was what it was.
The tees obviously were costly. You think the rest were being
real costly.
A little too sensitive, or do you guys need to sort of?
Yeah, we just need to just suck it up and don't worry about how they officiate and sit there and take it. Yeah, I'm getting a little old for that, but that's just how it goes. It's. I try not to curse, or I try not to completely be a jerk. Obviously, it didn't work. So I don't know. I don't know. It's beyond me.
Brian Bearfield, KYK Sports. Coach, what can you do better in the next game to stop Kevin Durant? He wasn't effective the first half, but he really got going that second half.
Well, if you need to email me and tell me, because I don't think anybody ever knows that. And he's just shooting it over top. He's one of the greatest players ever, and I thought we did a great job, especially until PJ got a little bit of foul trouble, and then things happened. But and then Kevin happens. The guy's good. We held him to 104 points. That's good enough with 2 technicals and a lot of different things. So that side of it, we could have done better in the first half. We had some communication problems, and we'll learn as we go forward and tighten up our defense. But offensively, we just got to do a little bit better job.
Mike, Dan Leckie with the Los Angeles Times. 2 questions. First, why did you go to Nene there late?
He was playing great. He was guarding great. Rebounding could have been an issue. And, now looking back, I probably wouldn't have made that decision knowing what happened. But I had confidence that even if we switch out, he could get it done. And, Steph makes a great shot, so, give them credit.
Secondly, what did they do against Capella? It seemed like that kind of the James to Capella lob got really disconnected early.
Yeah, well, Draymond's good about faking that and going back. I don't think Clint played his normal game. I thought he was lacking a little bit of energy, but it happens. But, we'll fix some things and we'll be better.
Coach, you're not going to have to go on the injury reserve after Chris ran into you, are you?
Maybe that was, no, he got me pretty good though. But, I'm just sitting over there, so it doesn't matter if he got me or not, as long as he's okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, right here.
Mike, Art Spander, the Maven, you had them playing your style of basketball once you got out of the first quarter, so you had to be pleased with that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, and that's what we're going to do. No, Durant made some hard shots, good shots, and Steph makes a big shot, obviously. like I said, defensively, I thought we did a good job. We held them to what we needed to do. We had to be a little bit sharper offensively. Uncharacteristic, we missed some foul shots that we could have had. Gave them, like I said, 2 technicals, which we can't on their home floor. You can't. It's hard to make up. And we could have easily gone to the line another 20 times during the game. So we're okay. We're okay.
Thank you.
All right.
So Mike D'Antoni said something interesting about guarding KD in the sense of he's one of the greatest players of all time. In the third quarter is really where he showcased that most. 15 points where it seemed as if the game was in flux and the Warriors took control.
Well, the way he's been playing,
The last 4 games, count this as 5.
He's right. There isn't much that you can do yourself other than make him work as hard as possible, which I thought early in the game, P.J. Tucker was doing a good job forcing them a couple steps off the block. And I think that once P.J. Tucker was off of him for a little bit,
He had 4 fouls.
and House had to cover him and Shumpert and some other guys. I thought that's when KD was able to start to find some rhythm in this game. And it didn't surprise me that it took him a while to figure out the chess moves. When you have a 36-hour turnaround from one series to another, everything's different. How people are defending you, their length, their angles. And I think once he figured out the equation, it was the Kevin Durant we've seen over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think you touched on it while we was watching the game was they're trying to be as physical as possible with him early. So when he's catching the ball, he's forced to catch the basketball with his back to the defender. But you said, look, breathe, take your time, face him up. You're 7 foot with a ratchet, meaning that you can score on your face-up game with anybody, or you can be in a triple threat, blow by anyone, and see the layers of defense that's coming at you, that's trying to attack you. And he just started isolating and shooting right over the top of the defenders.
So when you look at what KD was able to do in this particular game, as Steph struggled to shoot the ball a bit. It did feel like the game revolved around Kevin Durant. So going forward, if you're the Rockets and you have to pick your poison, who are you trying to stop first?
You're going to try to stop Kevin Durant. Try. You know what I mean?
That's the opposite word.
Yeah, you're going to try, But look, he's able to exploit a matchup every night. And I think for a long time, he's just plugged himself seamlessly into the offense. But now he's like, look, I'm going to be the guy, and we're going to make all the defensive strategies adjust to what I'm doing. And then Steph and those guys are, comfortable enough to just let him be the best possible version of himself and play off of him.
Here's Kevin Durant right now with Allie LaForce.
Kevin, after coming off that epic 7-game series last year in the conference finals, this one comes down to the wire. How do you describe what makes this Houston team such an interesting matchup?
Well, they got Bulldogs on their side on defense, and they got guys. James Harden is an unguardable player, and then you got CP is the same. So we got our work cut out for us on the perimeter, but I think we're doing a good job of just playing hard every possession.
You seem to get better the more intense the moment is. And in this game, we saw 4 technical fouls. It got chaotic at times. How did this team keep its composure, and how important was that?
I think both teams are just excited to be here. The energy is through the roof, and this is the best place to be around this time of the year. Is the second round of the playoffs. So everybody's got some emotions, some flair, some temper going, but it's all in good fun. It's all for the good love of basketball.
So since Kevin Durant said, "You know who I am," right? He's averaging over 40 a game and shooting 54% from the floor. So it seems as if he's a guy on a mission out to prove that these 2 finals that they won, they're not a fluke. And this series, it seems like he's taking it personal as well.
Yeah, KD is not that little piece of parsley that you get on your plate. Sometimes you order and it's like the little side dressing thing with the main meal. Is it?
Oh, he's a porterhouse.
Yeah, no, he's the main dish. Like he's that good, and it takes a while to develop a comfort level. We were just talking within a team and understanding the personalities, the egos, and allowing each other room to be great and evolve within that. And the Warriors have continued to find that sweet spot week in and week out, month to month, series to series. It's okay for Curry to be great one night, KD the next night, and that's what makes this team fun to watch.
Steve, John Dickinson.
All 5 of the Warriors starters with 13 or more points. Here's Steve Kerr at the podium.
Defense for you guys and how that really impacted the outcome of the game.
Yeah, I mean, our guys competed like crazy, and so did their guys, obviously. I mean, it's just, basketball at its highest level, along with competition at the highest level. So it's intense out there, and both teams are just fighting for everything. And it's a great way for us to start the series because as hard as we played, we didn't play that intelligently, and our guys know that, and we've got some things to clean up before game 2, but a good start.
Third row middle.
Coach Kerr, to the RB Sacramento Observer. Well, Houston, 4 of their starters have 36 or more minutes, but your players, 34 or more minutes, with Kevin playing 43. Were you prepared for a game like this after the turnover from Friday night?
Prepared for the game. Prepared for our starters to play this many minutes. This is it's the playoffs. We try to pace our guys all season, but you get to the playoffs, you got to do what you got to do, and so I know we ran Kevin and Clay extra minutes. We gave them 5-6 minutes more than we usually do, but that's what you got to do. You got to play your best players and see what happens, and they can get rest for the next 48 hours.
Steve, Tim Calcom, The Athletic, right over here. When did you know for sure Clay could go? And I guess you didn't have any minutes restriction. If he's playing 40 minutes, was there any sense that, okay, you might have to back off a little? And when did you know you didn't have to?
So Rick called me last night and said Clay had made improvement yesterday evening, and then he told me he was going to come in and warm up today. And after the warm-up, Rick said he's good to go. I said, is there a minutes restriction? And Rick said, we'll just see how it goes during the game. So obviously Clay did fine, and in terms of the ankle. And I think you guys know just how competitive and how tough he is. He plays through everything. So hopefully he turns out okay, tonight, tomorrow, and is able to continue to heal before the next game.
Steve, Joe Morgan, Sporting News. Harden had 35, but he did it on 9 of 28 shooting. Can you just talk about what you saw defensively from you guys on him?
Well, I thought our guys did a great job. He's so hard to guard with that step back, with his ability to get to the rim. So you just have to do your best and try not to foul him. He got 14 free throws, but I couldn't be more happy with the effort, the focus. It's a 5-man game when you're guarding James. It's not about just the one guy who's on him. The other 4 guys have to be in the right spots to help. And I thought our defense was excellent tonight. What hurt our defense was our turnovers. That stretch at the end of the second quarter, we had a 10-point lead, and then we go in at halftime tied because we had 13 turnovers. There's no defense for transition shots off of turnovers, so that's what we've got to clean up. But other than that, we made them fight for every open look.
Hi, Steve. Janie McCauley from AP. Draymond came up with several timely offensive rebounds. How much did his energy on both ends really kind of set a tone for you guys?
Yeah, Draymond was fantastic. That's the last 2 games. That's the guy he is. The emotion, the passion, the competitive desire, the brain. One of the smartest defenders I've ever seen. So Draymond was a huge instrumental part of the win, no doubt.
Hey, Steve. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. What went into the decision to start Iguodala, and did part of it have to do with changing up Clay's assignments at all because of the ankle?
No, the decision to start Andre is just based on playing against Houston. You've got 2 of the best one-on-one and pick-and-roll players in the world in James and Chris, and Andre is one of the best defenders in the world. So, that's our best lineup. We decided to start it just so we could have Andre out there defensively, and we'll probably do it again next game.
Coach, Brian Bearfield, KYK Sports. You played with some of the best and against some of the best. Have you ever seen anybody have a great 4-game stretch like Kevin is having?
There's this guy named Michael something. Can't remember his last name. But no, Kevin's run these last couple weeks, it's just been off the charts. I've said it a few times this week. I mean, he's the most skilled basketball player on earth. He's one of the most skilled basketball players to ever play the game. There's never been anybody like him. 6'11", handles ball, shoots threes, passes, defends. He's just an unbelievable talent. And I think after we lost game 2 to the Clippers, I think he just felt like he just had to turn it up and lift us up another level, and that's exactly what he's done.
Third row, right-hand side.
Steve, Connor Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle, kind of building off that. The bulk of Durant's points came when it seemed like you guys really needed him in the third and fourth quarters. What can you say at this point about his awareness of giving you guys exactly what you need when you need it?
Well, he's been around for a long time, and when you play in the playoffs, the shots get tougher and tougher. Regular season, it's almost 2 different games, because everybody's prepared for everything. So it's just much harder to get a shot. So Kevin can get his own shot anytime he wants. It's what makes him so impossible to guard. So he understands what we need from him, and he's been delivering, game after game.
Standing back left-hand side.
Coach Logan Murdoch, NBC Sports Bay Area. You talked about Harden's free throws. He had 14. Do you think that when you go into a game, do you see it as inevitable that he will get to the line at a certain amount of time, or do you kind of want to get that down to a certain number as attempts?
It's going to be tough to keep him way down, but I think when we watch the tape, we'll see some plays where we reached, and you have to be very disciplined. He's so clever, creating fouls, creating contact, and you have to be able to play, without putting your hand in the cookie jar. And so we did that a few times, but he's so good. He's going to get fouled, and he's going to get to the line no matter what you do.
CJ Peterson, San Francisco Examiners. Steve, seems like every one of these postseason games, Steph has been in foul trouble. For one, how hard does that make your job as a coach, as far as your rotations go? And 2, how do you fix that problem and kind of get him out of that habit of reaching and getting those fouls?
Well, when we were in LA and he picked up his 4th foul, I asked him. I said, "Steph, where's your mom?" And he pointed up about 10 rows behind the bench. And I looked up and made eye contact with Sonia, and I said, "Tell him not to foul anymore." So if his mom can't get through to him, I'm definitely not going to get through to him. So I'm going to maybe try Dell this time. Try Dad.
Front row center.
Steve, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. What was it like just handling a game where there's the constant stoppage of play with calls and both teams are disputing the nature of them?
It didn't seem any different to me than any other game. I mean, it's high level competitive stuff. You just keep going no matter what happens. And I didn't think it was. I didn't think of any stoppages in play. I just think that's how the game goes.
Last one, right-hand side, about 6th row back.
Colin Ward-Henninger, CBS Sports. You talked about the familiarity between these two teams. It seemed like, at least in the first half, the game was a little choppy, a little hard to get going on both sides. Did you see that, and do you think that the familiarity had anything to do with it?
Yeah, we've faced these guys 3 of the last 4 years in the playoffs. Obviously, last year, a 7-game series, 4 more regular season games. So both teams know each other well. So it's going to be tough to surprise anybody with the strategy. It's all about execution, and for us, that's got to start with taking back